Hey, hi. So, I just watched Art of Skinner have show with Art and Ghostface Killer, and it was awesome. It was so cool. They mentioned that the jaguar did hallucinogens. I didn't realize that, and it was like, oh, that's why Mayan. That's why it is what it is. And that was cool. And then other things on YouTube. There was showing Leah Remini on Joe Rogan, and it's old, but it's I haven't watched it because I don't religiously watch the Joe Rogan show. I don't care much for that energy. Um, if I do watch it, I really don't usually even get through the whole broadcast of it or recording of it or whatever. So it was like Leah Remini after she discovered what Xennu is or something. And I was like, whoa, what? Why is Leah Remini on Joe Rogan? That's crazy, in and of itself, because she's just the queen of the king of queens. And, so I was like, do I need to know about Xennu is if I was, interested in watching that? Because I don't know. And Sean was like, oh, that's Scientology, and it's, the god of Scientology or something. And I was like, Scientology? What is that anyway? Because, I know it's, this religion, and it's, seems to be, this newly, people are like, oh, it's bad, and I was screwed over by Scientology. But, I just don't know, what it's about. So I was like, what? So what's the deal with Scientology? And he was like, well, it was created by L. Ron Hubbard, and created, written down, and he said that a book was written, dialectics, I think is the word he used. No? Dianetics. Dianetics. Okay, yeah, that makes much more sense. Just because dialectic didn't sound right, except that it did, because okay, then we talked about it, and he's just browsing something online to give me a general idea of what Scientology is about, because these doctrines were put down by L. Ron Hubbard, and I was like, well, where did it come from? What are these doctrines? And he said them, and I was like, agree, truth, yes, absolutely, yes, truth. And it's like, okay, well, everything I've learned about Scientology in the 5 minutes that we were discussing it, I agree with and I like. And then it got confusing, because it's okay, so really, and here's the connection to why I said dialectic, because dialectical behavioral therapy, Scientology really just sounds like soul therapy, and I feel like soul therapy is something that everyone should be doing. That's soul work, and most people aren't. So anything that's bringing that into everyday life for mainstream society, that's a good thing. But Scientology also has that ick feel that the blood oath people do at the psychic fair. So I'm just I'm not entirely sure what its purpose is, other than to create a layer of protection, because the other thing that I agree with, which is kind of weird, and it's kind of what the Vatican is doing, obvi, and why there is occult knowledge and stuff, hidden knowledge, but until the people in the Scientology religion have attained a purity, they've gotten over their traumas and become rational beings again, basically, they aren't equipped to have the knowledge that is shared with them. And it's no, that actually makes a lot of sense, because I think that's blowing people's minds doesn't really serve them very well. If it's just there's really not not another way to express better than that like it's in one ear and out the other. Like no way to process it, no way to relate it. Like it's just like what? And like it's a reaction I've gotten so much in my life that like I think of it as just like an identifying factor to people who are like on my level and people who are not on my level. Most people not on my level, but yeah. So Scientology seems cool and good. I don't know what the hidden knowledge is that they're like keeping from people. I would be really interested to know. So like curiosity would drag a cat through its doors for yeah. But I guess part of it, like the story of Scientology is Xennu, the like galactic ruler, took a bunch of people in spaceships and plopped them on the Earth, right? And and then put a bomb in a volcano and blew it up. And so I was like, okay, like provided with that information, I was like, so a bunch of beings are put here and then they're like destroyed and have to rise from their own ashes. And then Sean said, he's the one like looking at stuff, reading stuff, and obviously knows more about this than I do. He said that we got bonded to something in that process, like, and that confused me, cause like I don't quite understand how a bomb would do that. I mean, I kind of can, because if you like break something up into a lot of little pieces, then it's hard to tell where one thing begins and the other ends. It's like, well, I have these two objects, and now I have a big mess, and you try to sort them out, but you don't get it all right, and so, like, we're entangled with that. And I was like, well, wouldn't that be Sophia, then? And, and then he said, well, they think that it's extraterrestrial, is what they say, and I was like, well, wouldn't Sophia be extraterrestrial? Because as far as I can understand it, Sophia has two bodies. She has the physical body, which is the Earth, and then she has like her light body, which I think is like her truer self. Although I don't think she can actually be like her truest self because she is divided in that way between being the embodiment of the Earth, and so it's like, okay, so in the explosion, then did we become entangled with Sophia, and is that why we are bound to her and bound here? And then wouldn't that entanglement then also link us to the archons that Sophia created, the byproduct of her, I mean, fall from grace makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's all I can think of it. Cause and she wasn't supposed to do that. I don't think she wasn't supposed to like mess with organic material reality, but she did. And then just like calls into question, like if the order is that you are not supposed to interfere with the evolution of human consciousness, then like first of all, at what point does it become human consciousness? Like the new being, the new consciousness that it doesn't remember its previous incarnations and have access to that. What do they call it? Like the crystal grid or something? There's like records that you can connect to, and that's like crystal energy. Because our complete memory is stored on crystal, right? And then like that was reflected in the most recent Indiana Jones movie, because the crystal skulls, they had the information, which like it makes sense, honestly. Like if you are aware that memories are stored on crystal to make it shaped like a head, right? Like that makes a lot of sense to me. But yep, that was my 2 cents on Scientology and how it relates to Sophia and Archons, the evolution of human consciousness. So, what do you think? And like, did I get stuff wrong? Like, care to elaborate? I don't know everything about this like official knowledge from external sources. I just know what resonates as truth with me based on what I would just have told you, like without any knowledge of, and what I did used to say, like without any knowledge or anything to refer to, just anything that sounds like me already is what I gravitate towards. And honestly, Scientology makes a lot of sense to me. So, comments and questions, and like if you like this, and if you want to participate in my reality, then subscribe to my reality, yo. Love and love.